Deerfield Beach, your complete general contractors with a reputation for quality work. They're serving Palm Beach and Broward County. For an estimate, call 954-829-3583. That's 954-829-3583. That's Richard Noon Construction Incorporated in Deerfield Beach, where they're saluting all veterans of foreign wars.
Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470. WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Good afternoon, and welcome to Forever Young Med Spa's Simple Aesthetics radio show, where for the next hour, we will seek to demystify the world of aesthetics and provide to you, our listening audience, a non-medical opinion on what's hot, what's not, and what works based on our experience of performing over 22,000 treatments since 2005. The views provided on this show should not be considered medical advice, but rather the opinion of the host who has been in the medical aesthetics business since 2005. During this program, we will highlight some of the best new and tried and proven FDA-approved services and go over the technology, how and why it works, results you can expect, and take your questions live on the air. If you have a question you'd rather email, please send it to brian@foreveryoungmedspa.us. And now, here's your host, Brian Sedella.
Good afternoon, South Florida. Welcome back to another Simple Aesthetics radio show, and have a fantastic show lined up for you guys today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Last week I started off with, wishing LeBron well should he leave, and he in fact did. Had a conversation with a group of guys about why I thought, and I've been saying this for months, he's going to leave. And I think I brought up something that not many people, if any, have really talked about, which is in all the games I've watched LeBron James play at the Miami Arena, American Airlines Arena, not once when he made a stopping play, a fantastic play, smacked someone's ball, across the court, did he ever say, "Not in my house." Over the past dozen or so years, Dwayne Wade has done that many, many times. This is my house, not in my house. You're not going to win in my house. LeBron really never called this place home. So I still wish him well. He's an outstanding example of a role model, if there's such a thing, for kids to look up to that aren't your parents. But he's led the great life. He's just an incredible talent when it comes to basketball, and I still wish him well, and I'll watch every Cleveland game I can when I get a chance because he's that good. Have a great show lined up for you today. Have Victoria Duke joining us later in the second half hour. Victoria is the makeup artist for the Stars. I'll get into her bio a little bit later, but really excited to have Victoria on the show. And last week's show, we had some very graphic before and after pictures. And my wife, Diana Santamaria, joined me into talking about medical aesthetic disasters. Had a lot of comments on that show and a few emails kind of asking why I would show such graphic pictures. And I think for those watching at home on their computer screen, you can now see those pictures of two particular patients that we showed last week, kind of what can happen when things go wrong, both in the wrong hands, at the wrong center, or with unqualified practitioners. Before I get into why I aired those pictures, I happened to be reading a study a few weeks ago. It was earlier last week. And the study was a roundtable discussion of dermatologists talking about why people are not wearing sunscreen. There's been a ton of evidence that shows the horrific damage the sun can cause, especially if you remember last week's show talking about the different UV rays, UVA, UVB, that can cause not only premature aging, but all sorts of cancers. So one of the surgeons who does the dermatologic reconstructive surgery commented that it's time to scare patients. They're not taking the message. They need to see graphic evidence of just what can happen when you have skin cancer and what that can mean to the average person. And so the discussion point concluded with, it's time to take off the kid gloves to make sure we scare the public into knowing they have to wear sunscreen every day. Before they leave the house, they need to put sunscreen on. So, the images from last week's show, I hope scared the heck out of some of you into thinking who you are trusting to perform the procedure, what their qualifications are, and where it's done at. Frankly, if you can't afford to get something done by a professional in a certified center, then, in my opinion, you really can't afford it at all. You should never discount safety, never compromise the qualifications or experience of the practitioner or the certification of the center where the actual procedure, especially if it's surgical, is going to be performed. Listen, save your money until you have enough, then evaluate when and where to have it done. If the price is too low, ask why. You can email me at brian@foreveryoungmedspa.us. That's Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at foreveryoungmedspa.us. And I'll send you the 2013 national averages for surgical procedures performed by a board-certified plastic surgeon. Now, these prices, if you would like to receive them, again, Brian at foreveryoungmedspa.us, do not include the facility fee, which is usually the surgical center, or the anesthesiologist, just what the plastic surgeon, who again is a board-certified plastic surgeon, charges. And be more than happy to send them out to you. Because if you're getting prices that are significantly below the average prices, now I don't know about you, but if I'm looking to get a surgery done, I don't want an average surgeon. But these are average prices, so depending on where you're at, New York, California, and South Florida are all pretty similar in terms of prices. You can compare based on these national average pricing. Okay, have a lot of studies to go through before we get to Victoria Duke in the second half hour. Last week we also on the program talked about a study that showed how you look, happy, sad, angry, irritated, can affect how people perceive you, and in fact can affect how you feel about yourself on the inside. Now, I'm going to bring up some before and after images, and Freddie, if you could bring up the first two images. Quite frankly, these two images are a little bit exaggerated. I think they're asking the people to squint a bit. But the caption of the article is, would you get Botox if kids thought you looked angry? So, as we all know, these days it's very easy to get, the treatment of the stars, if you will, because it's becoming more and more accessible. One lady, and I'll ask the viewing audience to look at the picture on the right. My children asked me why I always looked so angry and had those lines between my eyes. She added, I didn't realize that I was usually frowning even if I wasn't angry. If you look at that picture to your right, you can clearly see what I call the L's. It's one of the areas that we use Botox for to relax those muscles that cause you to look very angry, even at rest. Lines and wrinkles, whether we like it or not, define a person's face. But they also have the ability to harden our features, make us look angry, which is something kids definitely take notice of. And seeing as kids do not have any preconceived notions about standards of beauty, it can be especially harmful or hurtful when they see you as looking angry, even if you're not. So the article goes on to say Botox injections offer quick and impermanent. It is impermanent. It only lasts 3 to 4 months. It requires 3 to 4 visits a year to maintain that look. And it's just a great way to lighten up your look and to take and get a refreshed kind of appearance. The second picture to the left shows a before and after picture of a patient with those L's clearly between her eyes. And then And Botox, just if you didn't know, takes about 7 to 10 days to kick in. So I'll assume these pictures are 7 to 10 days later, and you can see a much more relaxed-looking person. Another comment on realself.com, which is a great website, by the way, for great information. Botox took care of the angry mom look I've had for a decade. Looking my best, I'm extremely happy with the result. Another patient said, about 1 week after Botox, I looked happier. I found that people responded to me differently when I wasn't frowning. Very, very, very interesting comments. And we see this all the time in our practice. You don't have to look angry. And sometimes people come in and they've waited too long, and I'm going to go into that in a few minutes, to get Botox. And if you wait too long to get Botox, we can relax those muscles that cause those wrinkles, but we can't take them all away. And I'm going to show you a picture of that in a little bit. A second study is on the 5 big Botox myths that are now busted. So as we all know, Botox is the #1 treatment for what we do in medical aesthetics. And here is myth number 1. The best time for Botox is when the lines appear. Fact. If you can get ahead of the game, it may help you in the long run, Los Angeles plastic surgeon Grant Stevens explains. By people trying to do preventative treatments, waiting until lines become etched into the skin means it's much more difficult to smooth their appearance again. And we see this in our own practice as well. Patients come in their 40s and 50s, never had Botox before. Yes, they're going to get dramatic improvement, but sometimes those lines become so deep because you're using those muscles all day long, you cannot permanently get rid of those lines or wrinkles unless you add filler or even a skin tightening treatment. Myth number 2. If you stop getting Botox, it will make your wrinkles worse. Well, that is simply not the case. If you stop getting Botox over time, usually 3 to 4 months, maybe 5 to 6 months, you'll just go back to looking the way you looked before. So Botox will prevent your wrinkles from worsening while you keep up with the treatments. Again, coming in to get Botox, and when I say Botox, I mean Botox, Dysport, and Xeomin, because as we discussed in an earlier program, they're all pretty much equal. You will slowly lose the relaxing effect of the Botox and will resume normal development of wrinkles with movement. Botox will not make wrinkles worse, but, as I said, they will come back. So, a couple more things to go through on this one study, and we'll get to it shortly after the break. This is Brian Sedella for Forever Young Med Spa Radio, Simple Aesthetics Show. Thank you.
Turn back the hands of time with South Florida's #1 medical aesthetics center, Forever Young Med Spa. Have you ever wished you could turn back the hands of time? Lose those lines and wrinkles and enjoy the healthy, flawless skin you had during your younger years? Ever wanted to rid yourself from hair under your arms, on your legs, or around your bikini area? Or men, the hair on your backs? Well, now you can at Forever Young Med Spa, where we provide the latest surgical and non-surgical procedures and rejuvenation products to restore your youthful skin appearance and enhance your self-image. Under the direction of renowned board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Jeffrey Lagrasso, our staff of highly trained and certified professionals will meet with you to go over your goals and recommend services that best fit your lifestyle, your budget, and your expectations. So no matter if you're looking for surgical procedures such as Vaser high-definition body sculpting, a mommy makeover, or non-surgical services such as the latest FDA-approved injectables, Vanquish body contouring, Exilis Elite for skin tightening, or our Hydrafacial MD treatment for your face, you can relax and let Forever Young Med Spa complete your journey towards a younger, more vibrant-looking you. Call us now and schedule a complimentary consultation at 954-450-2626. That's 954-450-2626. Or for more information on all our services, please visit our website, www.foreveryoungmedspa.us.
Welcome back, South Florida. And before the break, we were talking about most common myths about Botox. And before we left, we had one more point to make, which was, according to plastic surgeon Stephen Schlelak, if that is the way you say his name, that Botox that is injected at regular intervals of 3 to 4 months, again, every patient is different, but in general, most patients require 3 to 4 visits per year to maintain their look. And that once you stop doing that, those muscles will return to normal, and those lines and wrinkles will return to normal as well. So it doesn't cause aging, but once you've used Botox for years and you've arrested those lines and wrinkles, when you stop, you will immediately start looking, 5 to 10 to 15 years older than you used to look while getting the regular Botox, Dysport, or Xeomin treatments. Okay, next myth. You are never too young for Botox. Very interesting topic because, as I mentioned in an earlier show, our fastest growing population is between the ages of 20 and 30 to 33 years old. And they're using Botox not because they have lines and wrinkles. They use Botox to prevent them from ever forming in the first place. So, the article states that patients even over 65 can get results. Again, going back to the Real Self website, an 18-year-old asked if she was too young to get Botox under her eyes. Well, first and foremost, Botox is not really the treatment of choice for under eyes anyway, but the consensus was, in all the doctors who replied to her question, that no, you should not get Botox at the age of 18, and to wait a few years. In their mid-20s is when most patients start, although we've had patients start as early as 20. And, look, getting back to you kind of look, how you look on the outside can help you how you feel on the inside and how others feel about you. Certainly no one needs to get Botox or fillers in their 20s and 30s, but the shift has happened, and I hear it all the time. And not that they don't love their mothers or grandmothers, but I hear this statement all the time: I don't want to look like my mom or my grandmother. And so they're into preventing aging, and not just with Botox and fillers. I have 20 to 25 to 30-year-old women coming in, mostly women, 95% in this category, to get skin tightening treatments, not because they have laxity in their skin, but because they don't want to have laxity in their skin. So preventative maintenance is something that's a growing trend, at least in medical aesthetics. Myth, again, another myth, Botox is just for wrinkles. We talked about this in the past as well. Botox has many, many, many uses. One I just actually read about this morning, I didn't specifically earmark it for this show, but interesting use of Botox by, I guess, a gastroenterologist is for injecting the stomach muscles or the stomach area to weaken the muscle so that you eat less food. That's a new one. Never heard of that one. But the most common other uses for Botox, primarily for migraine headaches and for hyperhidrosis or excessive sweating. So it's not just for lines and wrinkles. Now, Freddie, could you bring up the next set of pictures? And for our viewing audience, you can see the picture on the left is of a woman, again with the L's and also the forehead, and then the picture on the right is of a gentleman who looks kind of angry, agitated. In the before picture, in the after picture, he looks much more relaxed. But I want you to pay attention to that after picture on that gentleman for those viewing at home, because you can see this is an example of a patient who likely waited a little bit too long to begin Botox treatments, because you can obviously see a tremendous, an 85% improvement in the way he looks. But now, because he waited so long, those lines have become permanently etched in his forehead. Relaxing the muscle again takes about 80, maybe 85% away, but 15% of those lines still remain because he waited too long. And now he'll need additional treatments such as a filler, if it's possible. Some areas you can't fill due to nerve issues, or skin tightening treatments to try and improve that if that's what he or she wants. So the last myth was that Botox is something that only women get. And the nickname for Botox for men, if you didn't know, is called Brotox. And every year, more and more men are getting Botox. Most of the men, though, don't start and come in their 20s, late 20s, or even early 30s. I'd say most of the men come in mid-30s to mid-40s. They're not interested in not looking like their father. They do this because the two most primary reasons I hear from men are they want to look vibrant in the workforce. They don't want to look, if they're 45, they don't want to look 45. If they're 55, they don't want to look 55. So they want to look younger to either go up the corporate ladder or maintain the corporate ladder, or they're looking for a job interview or going out for a job interview and they want to look their best. Second is one of the oldest, I guess, games in the book is that when they go out, they want to look good for the girls. So those are the two biggest reasons why guys go out. And Botox can help. If you look at the picture, again, for our viewing audience, you can see this, but listening audience, the picture of the man, he looks kind of agitated or angry. And if you're at a bar and you're trying to, ask someone to dance, or you look kind of angry, you're probably putting that person off with a nonverbal signal. And the article states that when men get Botox, it helps to soften up the look and makes men look more approachable. So for you ladies out there, that's the information we're being given. Okay, next, changing the subject a little bit on a different article that I thought was kind of interesting, although a little bit off from our normal aesthetic type of article, but it's on probiotics that hold promise for skin conditions. So probiotics, my wife actually uses these almost every morning. She takes probiotics in some form, digestive enzymes that help with the good bacteria in the intestine. I'm far from an expert on this topic, but the article states that consuming probiotics or good bacteria may help to prevent or treat certain skin conditions. That's very interesting. I had no idea that probiotics could actually help with skin conditions. As an example, applying Greek yogurt, and I believe Victoria Duke is also Greek, so maybe she knows about this, can help with the tone and texture of your skin. Some patients have reported through the application of Greek yogurt having fewer acne lesions, and while others have tried it to achieve younger looking skin, and their texture and tone seem brighter. Acne studies from Italy, Russia, and Korea have found that probiotics from food or supplementation can increase the rate of acne clearance. Preliminary studies of topical probiotics, which are not available yet, have shown that they may also help reduce the number of active skin lesions. Something that I see a lot in the med spa from older patients is eczema. And this study talks about a Finnish study, I guess. Researchers looking at pregnant women who took a probiotic supplement for 2 to 4 weeks before giving birth, and also after delivery if they were breastfeeding, and also they added the probiotic formula to infant formula. They found that the probiotics reduced the odds of eczema in babies who had the strongest family history. Eczema is hereditary as well as environmentally caused. So what the study is showing is that the kids who in their mother's milk took the probiotics or through breastfeeding took the probiotics from their mother actually had a reduction in the incidence of eczema in the babies. Another recent study showed that infants who developed eczema before they turned the age of 1 had less diverse collection of gut bacteria when they were 7 days old as infants. So another direct correlation study, if you will, that shows that babies who lack a diverse collection of gut bacteria are more prone to developing eczema. Very, very interesting. Acne rosacea. This is an inflammatory skin condition that causes general skin redness. They call it acne rosacea because it is a form of acne. And another study shows that probiotics may help control acne flare-ups and symptoms. That probiotic extracts in conjunction with medication can reduce the redness seen in rosacea and also improve and strengthen skin barrier, or the skin barrier, I should say, to reducing stinging, burning, and dryness. And lastly, as part of the study, was on anti-aging. Again, I never would have thought this, but the use of probiotics to protect skin from the effects of aging, the study states, is an exciting new area that shows early promise but needs more research. Researcher Bowe stated that there's some evidence that probiotics may help build collagen, the main protein in skin that affects its texture and tone. Increased numbers of good bacteria may also help to hydrate aging skin, reduce sun damage, and improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So really some very interesting things have come out the past few days, and good information for us all to take. And we're about to go to our last break, and when we come back from the break, Victoria Duke will be joining us, and look forward to speaking to Victoria. She's just a wonderful guest to have on, and looking forward to talking with her in a few minutes. See you at the break.
Turn back the hands of time with South Florida's #1 medical aesthetics center, Forever Young Med Spa. Have you ever wished you could turn back the hands of time? Lose those lines and wrinkles and enjoy the healthy, flawless skin you had during your younger years? Ever wanted to rid yourself from hair under your arms, on your legs, or around your bikini area? Or men, the hair on your backs? Well, now you can at Forever Young Med Spa, where we provide the latest surgical and non-surgical procedures and rejuvenation products to restore your youthful skin appearance and enhance your self-image. Under the direction of renowned board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Jeffrey Lagrasso, our staff of highly trained and certified professionals will meet with you to go over your goals and recommend services that best fit your lifestyle, your budget, and your expectations. So no matter if you're looking for surgical procedures such as Vaser high-definition body sculpting, a mommy makeover, or non-surgical services such as the latest FDA-approved injectables, Vanquish body contouring, Exilis Elite for skin tightening, or our Hydrafacial MD treatment for your face, you can relax and let Forever Young Med Spa complete your journey towards a younger, more vibrant-looking you. Call us now and schedule a complimentary consultation at 954-450-2626. That's 954-450-2626. Or for more information on all our services, please visit our website, www.foreveryoungmedspa.us.
Welcome back, South Florida, and I'm going to introduce a very, very special guest, and actually a friend of mine as well, which is always nice. Victoria sent me her CV, which I've never had a chance to read before, but sometimes you look at these CVs and you go, oh my God, how do I read all this? It might take up the entire half hour. But she's just led an amazing life. She's a makeup artist, educator, life coach, and motivator extraordinaire, a perfect mix of beauty, brains, and betterment. She is self-described as fun-loving, mascara-wielding vixen with a heart of Mother Teresa. Victoria is a globe-trotting celebrity beautifying Paris-trained makeup artist, much sought after by A-list celebrity clientele. Victoria has worked her magic on such celebrities as Kimora Lee Simmons, The Trump Wedding, The Pussycat Dolls, to name a few. She's the makeup artist of Miss Florida USA, Miss USA, Miss Teen Florida USA, and coaches beauty queens from all over the world. Victoria is a local NBC guru of glam, filming segments called Glambushed. She is the co-author of her first book, coming out very soon, called Beauty is an Inside Job. Her work has graced the high-fashion catwalk concerts, magazines such as Allure, Maxim, Woman's Day, Cosmo, Dermoscope, and Playboy. She's also been on TV shows such as Deco Drive, Telemundo, MTV, Good Morning America, and the Best Damn Sports Show, period, and many more. I'm pleased to welcome Victoria Duke to our program. Victoria, are you there?
I'm here. Hello, Brian.
I need a glass of water after that.
Yep, it's a mouthful.
So how are you, my dear?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely spectacular. Thank you for agreeing to come on the show. And I'd like to get right into a lot of questions I've always had. Known you for 5 or 6 years, but never had a chance to discuss professional type questions. So tell me how you got into the beauty business and what type of education did you need to go through to become the makeup artist of the stars?
Well, my parents owned art galleries, and so growing up, we'd go to Paris every year, and they would, purchase art for the season. And my sister and I figured out that if we didn't go to Paris, we could have a lot of really great parties. So my parents had to keep us entertained, and they put us in makeup artist school in Paris. So that's where my education began, and truly it was an amazing education because it's something that, I believe in is we just got in there and did it. And we worked on models, and we got in real situations, and we saw every type of canvas. And so that's where it all started. But, it has to start from there, and you have to understand technique, but really, truly being a great makeup artist has a lot to do with really understanding yourself as a woman and being able to connect with other women and finding their magic.
Okay, so you said that your parents put you guys in the school. Was that your passion to go to makeup school, or something your parents kind of pushed you towards?
Well, it was always a passion. Our passion always involved art, but I wasn't great on a regular canvas, but I will tell you I had the cutest Barbie dolls ever because everybody had makeup on and with marker, and I cut all the dolls' hair, and I did all my girlfriends, in high school. The whole cheerleading team had perfect makeup. So it was a passion of mine, and it was, probably I was always very creative. So it was always something that, was inside me. But to get a formal education, that's where I really was able to, develop the real technique and the mastery of artistry.
And how long were you in Paris going through those type of studies?
Well, 2 summers, we spent in Paris. So I spent 6 weeks each summer. And then, when I'd come home, I was able to work locally in Miami as a makeup artist and in the summers, during college. And with it, I intermixed the, psychology education, which is really, truly what you really need to be a makeup artist.
Isn't that the truth? When you're dealing with the public, whether you're a hairdresser or a professional makeup artist or even a person who injects Botox, you kind of wear the hat of psychologist as well many times.
Well, that's right, because beauty is absolutely an inside job, and it has to start there. Everything starts there inside, in your head.
So you work with, the beautiful people in the industry and also in everyday life that you have come to your center. Tell me what makes a person beautiful for men. How men can look their best. What is it that you do that brings that out?
Well, I truly believe that beauty is there's nothing sexier, more beautiful than being comfortable in your own skin, and beauty is really being the best possible version of yourself. Again, starting from the inside out. And I think that that's one of the things I try and do with the artists that we teach, and myself, my own team. We're really in touch with ourselves and our own magic, and we help other people find that and to create the highest and grandest vision of themselves in their lives. And then, just like anything else, you have to have an internal GPS system, and that's the same thing for beauty, kind of understanding who is the character that you want the world to see, and then really working towards that. So once you're able to do that, you're able to really, truly create the best version of yourself, and then you're comfortable. I mean, that's pure confidence is just the sexiest thing a woman or a man, I think, can possess. So
when you take a person, and whether it's on your TV show Glambushed or in your own studio, and you provide that external appearance that makes them shine, makes them pop, do you see a difference going on in their inside as well?
Absolutely. When we do our Glambush, where we ambush people, and in 15 minutes, sometimes we pick them out of parking lots at Walmart. So we take people, and in 15 minutes, I rarely have PS as a makeup artist more than 15 minutes to take a celebrity from glum to glam. So, we thought, well, why don't we take it out on the streets and working with regular people who are, tired, and, we all know what our normal lives are like, and we're able to, in 15 minutes, completely transform them. And it's just about knowing what tools to use and, what features to kind of accentuate, what are our opportunities. And as soon as people, it's kind of like the butterfly effect. I mean, as soon as people start evolving, you see them, it changes, something changes. Beauty brings us dignity, and And I don't believe that it's about, being full of yourself or overly confident. I think that beauty is something that brings people's dignity and being the best version of themselves. And when they start seeing it, I think that they start feeling it. And, so it has to go hand in hand, and it always does.
So beauty and how you look on the outside can make a person more confident?
Oh, it will make a person more confident, absolutely. And we see that, in psychological studies when people go on job interviews, when they're really prepped and they're, look at products, look at marketing products, when a product is prepped and put on the shelf right and in the right packaging, it's going to create more appeal. And same thing with each of us. And when we feel like we are showing the world what's really inside and what the product that we're trying to, sell the world is correct, and we're comfortable in our own skin, it brings that sense of, accomplishment, and it brings a sense of unity to our souls. So it certainly is really important to find what the best version of yourself is, and that may be different for everybody else, for each person. But whatever the best version of yourself is it's really important that you invest the time, the effort to do that. There's an old saying where that superstars, invest their resources in developing themselves and their skills. So why won't we? We in this day and age, I know so many women and oftentimes men, we're taking care of everybody else, but it has to start with you first.
And I've seen, Victoria, those amazing 15-minute transformation segments you've done. For the viewing, listening audience, where can they go to look at some of those videos and see what can be done in just 15 short minutes?
Well, Channel 10 has it on their site where you can actually look up. It's the local WPLG site where you can look up Glambushed, and you can see where we actually ambush people and transform them in 15 minutes. We also have a Facebook page called Glambushed, and we have a lot of pictures and little videos where you can actually see episodes where we transform people. And, we can Glambush anybody, so it's something that people can say, you know what, I want to understand how to, transform myself, and it only takes 15 minutes. That's all I have. So, of course, it takes us about 2 hours to educate you and to map out how you should look, but people can come to our studios, Victoria Dukes Glam Studios, and get Glambushed. I mean, I think everybody needs to be Glambushed at some point.
And where is your studio at?
Our studio is located in Cooper City, and we are on the corner of Pine Island and Griffin Road. And, it's kind of like a Barbie dream house in there. There's chandeliers and velvets, and, it's truly, I felt like there's so many places for a woman to exercise her body and, and all that, but there needs to be a place to exercise our soul. And as women, to be able to walk in there and be nurtured and feel beautiful, and, it's just an amazing experience. People say that they feel it the second they walk in. And we always have cotton candy because, when there's cotton candy, it's got to be fabulous.
So what is the phone number if someone wants to get a hold of you? I assume you do private parties and wedding showers and prom things.
We do it all. We do weddings, special events, proms. We also train beauty queens from all over the world for Miss Universe, Miss USA, etc. So we do one-on-one sessions, or just women who feel like they want to reinvent themselves and transform themselves. And that's really popular, For all the different roles in your life, sometimes you need a if you're not the star of your own show, ladies, then it's time to change the show. And we kind of help you do that. But to reach us, we're at 888-818-4526, which is GLAM, of course. And I have an amazing team called the Wow Factor. And sometimes, the difference between winning and losing is the wow factor, So I make sure that the wow factor is they're the best and they're masters. And as much as they are that, they're compassionate and kind and beautiful. So I'm usually there to direct, but if I'm traveling, I have an amazing team.
Compassion and kind are very, very important in this business. So I know you've worked in the past with many celebrity clients, and you're probably not going to name a lot of them, but can you share with us maybe some of them, who they are, and what their secrets are to looking so great?
Well, I've worked with, I always do the high glamour celebrities, like Kimora Lee Simmons, the Pussycat Dolls. I've done Anna Nicole Smith. I worked on the Trump wedding, Carmen Electra. and then there's a lot of stars that I can't always talk about, but I will tell you that, again, as it starts from inside, these people are really committed. This is their career, and they're committed to how they look. And, it starts with eating right, nutrition. A lot of them, practice a very green lifestyle. We, in fact, at Academy of Slim have a 10-day celebrity transformation that they often do just to kind of detox and clean, their organs and their skin, and it does make a difference. And they dedicate themselves, people like Jennifer Lopez dedicate herself to drinking a white silver-tipped tea to make her skin glow. And, it's really important, I think, in beauty is to understand and who you are and what makes you look and feel your best, and then to maintain yourself. So that's one of their secrets is constant dedication, at least, sometime during the day, to maintaining their appearance. And, and I think that's what we lose sight of as women and men, is that it's okay to invest time, energy, etc., in looking and feeling our best. Because in the long run, that's going to affect every relationship in your life, from your career to your, romantic relationships, to your relationships with your children, etc. So it's okay to invest in yourself. If you don't, who's going to, if you don't know your own worth?
Very, very true. So what's the biggest fallacy that you've observed in your lifetime when it comes to looking great?
Probably the thing that I'm so shocked about is how easily people give up. And they're hopeless. And there is a fallacy, they'll say to me, well, my skin looks terrible now because I'm this age, or, my hair is always gray and, so I'm not going to fight it, or what can I do with my skin? I've got crow's feet, or in my age we shouldn't wear this or that. But there's so many resources available, like, for instance, that you all provide as Forever Young Med Spa. There's so many resources available that aren't that costly, time-consuming, scary, that you can correct and slow down the appearance of aging. I mean, listen, I'm going to fight the good fight as long as I can, and I can fight for a long time. So I feel like that's the thing that shocks me is how easily people give up. Or then, I have the other side of the coin, too, where women say to me, I never learned how to do makeup, so I could never do that. Well, then let's learn. It's never too late, to be fabulous. I mean, let's learn how to do it. Let's master a skill that's going to change the way you look and feel. I mean, if we're not important enough and we can't control that, our product, what do we have control of? Which is very little. So I think that is a fallacy, that it's hopeless, and that you don't know enough, or you're too old, or you're not that type of person. If that's who you think you are inside, whatever you kind of envision for yourself, that's what you connect with and that's what you become. So that's why I say always create the highest and best version of yourself and connect with that. And so women have to understand that there is hope and there is resources, and they can look and feel fabulous at any age.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I think we're up against the quarter of break. So we're going to come back with Victoria Duke in about a minute and a half. This is the Forever Young Med Spa Simple Aesthetics Radio Show. Your host, Brian Sedella. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Thanks for joining Brian Sedella, president and founder of South Florida's #1 medical aesthetics center, Forever Young Med Spa in Cooper City. Join us next week as Brian will again demystify the world of medical aesthetics and provide you, our listening audience, a non-medical opinion on what's hot, what's not, and what really works. You can contact Forever Young Med Spa at 954-450-2626 or visit our website at foreveryoungmedspa.us. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strict. Turn back the hands of time with South Florida's #1 medical aesthetics center, Forever Young Med Spa. Have you ever wished you could turn back the hands of time? Lose those lines and wrinkles and enjoy the healthy, flawless skin you had during your younger years? Ever wanted to rid yourself from hair under your arms, on your legs, or around your bikini area? Or men, the hair on your backs? Well, now you can at Forever Young Med Spa, where we provide the latest surgical and non-surgical procedures and rejuvenation products to restore your youthful skin appearance and enhance your self-image. Under the direction of renowned board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Jeffrey Lagrasso, our staff of highly trained and certified professionals will meet with you to go over your goals and recommend services that best fit your lifestyle, your budget, and your expectations. So no matter if you're looking for surgical procedures such as Vaser high-definition body sculpting, a mommy makeover, or non-surgical services such as the latest FDA-approved injectables, Vanquish body contouring, Exilis Elite for skin tightening, or our Hydrafacial MD treatment for your face, you can relax and let Forever Young Med Spa complete your journey towards a younger, more vibrant-looking you. Call us now and schedule a complimentary consultation at 954-450-2626. That's 954-450-2626. Or for more information on all our services, please visit our website, www.foreveryoungmedspa.us.
Victoria, welcome back. I made a little longer break than I thought. And I have a ton of questions to ask, and I don't know if I'll get to all of them before the end of the show. So I'm going to have you back, probably as a regular guest. You're so informative.
Thank you, Brian.
Well, so next question I had on my list of questions to ask you is, and my wife asked this question as well, does the type of makeup a person uses matter, or is it really knowing how to apply the makeup that matters most?
Well, I think, first of all, it's critical to understand how to use the makeup. And that's where I see a lot of women have problems. But there's so many opportunities to learn more, how to apply makeup, via YouTube tutorials, magazine articles, etc. But if you don't understand how to use your product, no matter what you have, the finest makeup in the world, and it's not going to be right. So education, we all know that knowledge is power. So understand how to use your tools. But the tools do matter to some degree. I believe that it's a broad variety of products that are on the market, and many times you can find things in the drugstore that are just as good as in the department store. But it's important that you kind of experiment a little bit, and every woman has that drawer full of things that that worked or didn't work. And I think it's a great idea to share information with your girlfriends, and having it once a month, if you get together with your girlfriends, everybody kind of bring their different products and items and see what you like and what you don't like. There is a difference in products. You want things that are more finely milled as far as eyeshadows. You want to try on, certain products. So sometimes department stores are better because you get a little more education. But it is critical to understand how to use them.
So late at night, and as a business owner, I know you share the same type of insomnia, and you're up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning working, and you turn the TV on and you see these probably 3 to 4 different commercials on spray-on makeup. What's better, the spray-on devices or pad-type applied makeup?
I believe that traditional makeup is better, and the reason being is the spray-on makeup is harder to control. As professionals, I think can do a good job, handling a spray-on makeup. And the reason there are spray-on makeup is because of our HD TV and HD cameras. That the theory is that if you had something that's sprayed on, more densely pigmented liquid that covered a large area, that it would shoot better and look better. But my feeling is, I believe in the warmth of your soul and the warmth of your hands. So I believe that there should be some ability to blend something, whether it's a liquid foundation or a cream foundation. So I always, even as a professional makeup artist, I rarely use any spray-on foundations. I use cream, liquid, powder. We have a couple of, products that we love here. But I believe that traditional makeup is the way to go. I think there's slightly something faddish to it, to using those devices. And I do believe in the end they're harder to control.
That's kind of interesting because on these infomercials that I've watched a few minutes of, they have all these, quote-unquote celebrity makeup artists talking about how they always use these spray devices for their stars, and you're kind of saying a little bit different. And I guess having someone else do your makeup versus trying to control the spray gun on your own face is probably a little harder.
Absolutely. It's much harder. And there's so many great HD foundations that are in a cream or a liquid form that, it doesn't make sense, to spray it. It's funny because, I decided to, as you know, we have a school for makeup artistry, the Academy of Glam, and I decided to, to research the best and the brightest makeup artists that do primarily TV. And I know one who is phenomenal, and she's won, so many Emmys for television, HD TV makeup. And I said, before I offer these courses, I want to make sure that I go to the mountain, and talk to the source. And I was ready to confess to her, that I thought I'd be like arrested by the makeup police or something, that I don't like using an airbrush foundation. And she said to me, I never use an airbrush foundation. This is a person, like I said, who's won more Emmys. She works on The View and other shows where, it's challenging. You have a different variety of colors and ages of women, and she doesn't either. So I think that there's certainly, art is very subjective, and a lot of people have different preferences as artists. But I believe I like to have more control over the color and the placement that I can only get by applying product with a brush or my hands, the warmth of my hands to blend, as opposed to spraying on the liquid.
Okay, outstanding. And for the listening audience and viewing audience who wants to get a hold of Victoria Duke at the Academy of Glam, Victoria, that number again is?
888-818-4526, which is also 888-818-GLAM.
Okay, and you have, I guess, two sides to the school, if I remember correctly. One is the teaching of professional makeup artistry to students, and then a second side that you have everyday women who just want to learn how to apply makeup. And what type of classes are you offering?
So we have our Glam Studio, and in our Glam Studio, our Wow Factor team works. They're all professional master makeup artists, and they work on making women feel and look beautiful for whatever occasion of their life, or one-on-one makeup training classes, so that you understand, how you should look for those special moments. And we teach you a basic look and a smoky look, and that's a great, it's a great opportunity for women to really master their own faces and become their own makeup artists. And we also, like I said, we train beauty queens from around the world and do one-on-one trainings. I mean, from all the there's several Miss Universe contestants, et cetera, that come in and work with us specifically. We have the Academy of Glam, and the Academy of Glam is not a vocational school. It's a really cool, I think call it more of a fantasy camp for makeup artists, where they're able to really pursue and fuel their passion for artistry. And they come in here and they do like I did in Paris. We work on models, and the only way to know you're fabulous is to be fabulous. So we work with real photographers on photo shoots, and they get to really work on different canvases and see how their work translates on camera, and ultimately build their portfolio, which is, you can graduate from Harvard, but as a makeup artist, if you don't have a great portfolio and outstanding technique, then you're not going to be a master artist. So those are the things that we focus on, and we do a lot of life coaching. We blend it into everything that we do at Academy of Glam and our Glam Studios, because I feel like women have to have an internal GPS system to understand who they are, where they want to go, and how to get there. And our staff, it works with inside out. I mean, like my book is Beauty is an Inside Job, and you have to really master it on those levels.
Well, when you're seeing your clientele at the Academy of Glam, what types of treatments like that we do at Forever Young Med Spa, what are the most popular treatments you hear people partaking in to keep looking their best?
Well, oftentimes I'm working on a client, and they'll say to me, well, I've got, a lot of wrinkles. Can you make those go away? And can you make this go away? And, as a makeup artist, we can certainly enhance your appearance and your coloring, but there are certain things we call, changes in elevation and in structure that really can be so easily taken care of. For instance, Forever Young Med Spa. For instance, the hydrofacial, I think that's an amazing thing. Once a month, a woman should have that to really, it's skin to win, and it's important that the skin is glowing, and so that kind of keeps your skin on track. I am a full proponent in fillers. when women start losing some slack and we have women who lose weight or whatever, and they start seeing the skin doesn't seem to fit quite as well, and they start seeing, some deeper lines. Filler immediately. I mean, you walk out of there 10 years younger. And then, of course, Botox, which helps, keep everything lifted and, look more youthful. And in a couple of days, you see a big, huge difference. And then, of course, like for the skin, I mean, I think lasers are probably, the most important thing a woman can do because it helps change the surface, pore size, sun damage, those kind of things. And then, of course, there's the Vela shapers, and there's a shaping and non-surgical, like Elixir and all that, which is the non-surgical shaping tools, which help women, just achieve that last inch or two that they're trying to, feel better about. And again, I feel like that's such a gift of hope to women, that there are resources that aren't unaffordable and that aren't scary, medically, that they can do to just look and feel better immediately. And then, it's almost like it's getting the structure of the house together, and then we can paint it and decorate it and do everything else to it. But it's something that has to go hand in hand.
One of the most popular services we have for the models that come in to see us is the Matrix, and they love the way their makeup looks following a couple of treatments of the Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to quickly, if I could, go through 3 quick questions. I have a fill-in-the-blank question and answer.
Okay.
The most beautiful woman in the world that you've ever worked on is?
My daughter.
And
definitely the most beautiful woman.
That's beautiful. Well, and that's the best answer to give. And I'd like to go through a couple more questions, but I'm being told that we're out of time, so we're going to have to definitely have you back on. And Victoria, thank you again for joining us. And to get a hold of Victoria again, Victoria, your contact number is?
888-818-4526. We would love to see you and help you transform into the woman you were meant to be.
This is Brian Zedella signing off for Forever Young Med Spa's Simple Aesthetics Radio Show. Have a great afternoon, South Florida.
Thanks for joining Brian Zedella, President and founder of South Florida's #1 medical aesthetics center, Forever Young Med Spa in Cooper City. Join us next week as Brian will again demystify the world of medical aesthetics and provide you, our listening audience, a non-medical opinion on what's hot, what's not, and what really works. You can contact Forever Young Med Spa at 954-450-2626 or visit our website at foreveryoungmedspa.us. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.